What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another deck profile here on TCG University for the card game UniVersus. My name's Tam, and today I'm going to be going over the Skye Mathers deck profile that I played in the DLC and More Campus Championship. If you like the deck, make sure that you go out and you find the Campus Championship. It'll be on its own playlist here on the channel. So with that, let's just jump into the deck. Alright, so Skye Mathers is one of the new DLC Grim Fairy Tale characters, and she's got a lot of interesting interactions moving with her, to the point where I initially thought that she was I'm going to use the word bad character, and I do have to say now that I think she is not bad. She is intricate, and intricacy sometimes is just not good. Sometimes you have to have too many combo pieces to happen, but if you want to have a really fun, enjoyable deck, I think this is a really fun, solid start to it. A little caveat: I did build this deck under life, and it took me quite a bit in order to find the deck, to the point where I think a better deck might be under chaos, but I already had a chaos deck inside the tournament that I had made personally for Hiei, and so I decided to go with life, and I like the result that I have more. I think the deck is more fun, it's more interesting, and let's just get to it. So my elevator pitch for the deck is: I want to use my once per turn, enhance your attack once per turn, discard one card from my opponent's card pool, add the top card of my deck to my momentum as much as I can, and then get as much benefit off of that one momentum as I can. And her response says, after you discard a momentum, +2 or -2 speed, it's either me or my opponent doing that discarding of the momentum. And so there's a lot of interesting interactions, and we'll get to and explain that. So the elevator pitch of the deck is: I want to block reversal as much as I can in order to use my once per turn enhance, and then spin that momentum as quickly as I can in order to make sure I can push damage through, or spin that momentum to make sure that I don't get touched. And so I will be explaining more combos as we talk about what this solid life reversal deck does. All right, so first off, we're going to talk about the attacks, and we're going to talk about the momentum spending, because there's a lot of cheeky stuff that we can do when it comes to how timing and responses work. So the first attack that we're playing is Fusion Soul Fist. So the way that this works, and I'm going to use a different card, I have my momentum, okay? So the way this works is it's says enhance discard a momentum. So I'll discard my momentum, and then as soon as I discard that momentum, I will respond with Skye. After you discard momentum, your attack is +2 or -2 speed. So I'll go ahead and grab my 2 speed, and then I'll finish resolving my ability, which says if this attack speed is greater than printed, draw 2 cards and gain 2 vitality. If you notice, its speed did not start greater than printed when I used the ability, but because of the timing windows of how things work, I respond with the card in order to get the 2 speed, and then it triggers. I'll gain my 2, draw my 2. And so now I've got an 8 mid for 7 attack on my 6 diff, and I just wanted to find that interaction. This is a really healthy way to spend this momentum, especially if this comes after my opponent blocking an attack, which means as my second attack of the turn, I've got a 8 mid for 7 that they've already wasted resources blocking the first thing. So I'm going to leave this momentum here as I continue to explain the rest of the game. So the next attack that we're playing works in a very similar fashion, Draining Vector, but is a little stronger than Fusion Soul Fist in my humble opinion, because of the fact that it is a throw, so it is going to guarantee a momentum by itself. It says enhance, discard a momentum, respond with Skye, give it 2 speed. If its speed is greater than printed, my opponent loses 3 vitality. So by itself, this thing does 6 damage, asterisk, because it is a throw that has 5, which when throws are even completely blocked, it gets plus they deal half damage rounded up, and then I burned them for an additional 3 of them, losing 3 vitality. So this says that, yes, I discard my momentum, but Draining Vector is going to replace itself, unless they've got some sort of perfect block. This card is just like really, really solidly statted, and it should definitely be in, honestly, probably more decks. Discard momentum, burn 3 is very, very strong. The next card that uses momentum exceptionally well is Divine Justice. There's a ton going on with this card. It is Skye's card out of the DLC pack, and I opted not to run it at a 4 of. I opted just to do 3. And the reason is because it's a 5 diff with a 2 low block. If it had a mid block, maybe we kick it up to a 4 of, but it's got the low block with Breaker 1, very important, and then it's a reversal. So the first 2 attacks that we played were not reversals, but we want to play reversals as much as we can. It says response card pool after you discard 1 or more momentum, gain 2 vitality, and then enhance, discard a momentum if this attack deals damage at the top 2 cards of your deck to your momentum. So the way that this works is I play my card on the reversal, I kick their card, gaining my momentum, From there, I use its ability to discard the momentum, respond with Skye, get my 2, and if it deals damage, my 6 mid for 6 on a reversal, I'm going to take and gain 2 momentum so that my draining vectors or even my other ones matter. And not to mention, after I discarded this momentum to play for its ability, enhance, discard, respond, gain my 2, respond, gain 2 life. This is gonna stick in my card pool and do this anytime I discard a momentum. I'm gonna gain my 2 life. Really strong stuff. My last momentum use on cards in my card pool is Forbidden Moonset. Forbidden Moonset's really strong because it says enhance if you've got 6 or less foundations, you're gonna add one of their foundations to their hand, and it adds it to a hand by itself, and then if they have 6 or less, you take a card from your hand and you put it under its momentum. And then it loses safe, and it can gain powerful 5. And so when I do powerful out my attack, I respond with Skye, giving it 2 speed, and then it has powerful 5, so it's got 5 damage. And so now for free, I added a card up to their hand, 1 into my momentum. I spent that momentum, and then I got to do a bunch of cheeky stuff. Not to mention if Divine Justice was in front in the card pool, I'm going to use that momentum, get my 2 speed, gain 2 life, 5 damage. This is just a really neat life combo deck. There's just a bunch going on here. Really fun stuff. My last 2 attacks aren't necessarily momentum generators or momentum uses, but they're just really solid reversals in order to make sure that these combo pieces get to go off as best that they can. The first one is Triple Keiko's Slap. It does not count as progressive on reversal. It is a 3 mid for 3, sometimes a 5 mid for 3 because of Skye's response. I'm going to leave this momentum under here just because she looks way better with that card underneath her. And then if it deals damage, my opponent's next attack gets +3 difficulty, meaning that their turn is harder to play. And then my next attack gets -3 difficulty, whether it be another reversal or so on and so forth. I could just get to keep playing cards. And so the reason this card is too good is twofold. On my turn, it says that this card right here is more like a 5 diff as opposed to a 7 diff. So I'll play my Keiko's Slap, and they're not allowed to block it because if they block it, then I get to kick a card, and this is super live. So it's just 3 free damage. And it says that this card just happens because it's on a 5 diff. On a 6+1, this is the only card in my card pool, 6+1, and then -3, or -2, excuse me, it's on a 5. Math is simple. And so this card not only just ends my opponent's turn, but it also sets up for big attack strings on my turn. And then my last attack is Soele Novolo. This one, the Raphael reversal. It says if it was played as reversal, I get to ready 2 cards. Very relevant because of the foundations that we're playing, as well as if this card's not completely blocked, your opponent commits their character. And so sometimes this card is a 3 high for 5, but sometimes if we can use Skye and discard this momentum, it is a 5 high for 5. Super relevant. It forces my opponent to do stuff, and the fact that it's a reversal means I kicked a card from the card pool, so I have the momentum, and so there's a lot of interactions happening on the reversal for this deck. So the next thing I want to talk about is the assets in the deck, because I think the support cards are what make the deck so infuriating to play against. Being able to have so many answers, not just on your gray cards, your foundations, but the assets and actions truly bring this deck to life. So the first thing that we're playing is 1 Swordfish 2. This just says, in case my reversal deck doesn't get a chance to work, this just aborts an attack, as well as it gives me a momentum as part of its cost. So there's sometimes where I'm playing my own attack and I need to have 2 momentum. Well, I'll just Swordfish my own attack and then it will travel with it. So now I've got the momentum that I can spend on. And so this is relevant when it comes to just solid defense. You should definitely be picking up at least one of these if you're new to the game. 1 Kaliyuga. This card was less relevant than I thought it would be. This card could easily be cut. It's just a stun deterrent or a debuilded deterrent. As a life reversal deck, I have to have enough resources to both play blocks as well as reversals, as well as more blocks on my turn. The thing that a lot of new players don't value is the fact that your reversal is probably not going to be the thing that ends the game. The reversals don't end the game. Reversals close that gap. And so if I don't have the resources to play the block, play the reversal, and then keep playing cards afterwards, then it's going to be an issue. So keep making sure that my cards stay in my staging area or my cards don't get stunned. It's really important because it's such a deterrent, because my opponent needs to also be able to play cards, especially if I'm playing reversals on their turn. It's just a good Cold War when it comes to this card. Could it be cut? Yeah, sure. Should it be cut? I don't think so. Up next, we've got one Flambe. As I said, blocking is super important, and being able to just -1 speed off of whatever, in addition to the -2 off of Skye, says I just kind of get to auto block whatever I want to. And if they happen to change their zone, I can keep minusing the speed. And the best thing about Flambe is it fights Flambe, and I think +1 speed on everything is actually an issue. +1 additional speed on everything is an issue, and so this just keeps that in check, so I can make sure that I can keep blocking. As well as it's just got a really solid 1 mid block. There were plenty of times where I just blocked with this card and then played the reversal. You don't need it in the staging area. This block is just good enough. We're playing one Omega Sword and Elk Shield. The main reason of this is I'm playing a reversal deck, and I've only got 19 life. I don't want to die. This thing says once I block with it, I just only take 1. Important. And then lastly, the MVP asset of the deck, Omega Sword and Owl Shield. This card should honestly probably be a 2 or a 3 of in the deck. Every time that I saw this card, I won the game. And it makes me really excited for the way that life gets to work now as a reversal deck. It says while it's in my staging area, while it's ready in my staging area, I get to block things ignoring progressive difficulties. So I can have 14 cards in my card pool and then play this on a 1 plus whatever your speed is. So really, really relevant stuff when it comes to playing a solid defense game. Not to mention this card, ignoring progressive, plus Keiko's Slap, ignoring progressive on my opponent's turn, or not counting towards progressive or ignoring progressive on my opponent's turn, means that I just get to start playing free cards and then activating Skye and just rolling my opponent because they're playing the game. Up next, taking a blast from the past, we're playing 3 Templar. This could honestly be a 4 of. I always wanted to see this card in my hand, especially on the reversal turn. Response after you block with this card, gain 2, draw 2. Very, very strong whenever Templar doesn't count as progressive. That's the one issue with Templar, is that it sticks in the card pool, and Owl Shield says that doesn't matter. And then my last one is just 3 Revoke. This card is just a negate card. Response after your opponent plays Enhance ability, knock it off. I never wanted to build this card ever. It always wanted to stay in my hand just so that I can disrupt my opponent as much as I can. On to the foundations. So the way that I've laid the foundations out are not necessarily by strength, but more by category. And so for my elevator pitch of how the deck works is I want to interact and use my momentum as healthily as I can. I've just grabbed as many cards as possible. So we're playing 3 Racing Rivals. This card says Enhance, discard a momentum, ready it. So the way that it works in Skye is enhance on Racing Rivals, discard my momentum, respond with Skye, your attack will get -2 speed, and then I'll ready my Racing Rivals back up. So essentially, it was -3 speed at the cost of 1 momentum. There were plenty of cool plays that I made of like committing out my whole board, having a couple momentum, readying the Racing Rivals, and then blocking and then reversaling some more. This card was very, very underrated, and the fact that it is a 1/5 with a block is super relevant to the game. Up next, Partners in Crime. This card is probably the best foundation when it comes to momentum use in the deck. It says enhance, discard a momentum, your opponent discards a momentum. And the reason this is relevant is I will discard my momentum as cost, respond with Skye, your attack will get -2 speed, and then my ability will resolve, and then you'll discard another momentum. I could then get to respond again because Skye says when either player discards a momentum. And so she responds at the cost before the colon, and then she responds after the colon resolves. And so -4 speed. Hey, I get to block this thing for free. All for discard 1 momentum. Super relevant. I'll block reversal, and then I'll grab that momentum black, and then I can respond Partners in Crime Fighting and make you discard another one. So it's really tough to keep momentum against Skye with this card in play. Up next, we've got Double Protecting the Protector. This card is already nutty by itself, protecting. It just stops a ton of stuff. But now it says that they can't do it because if they do, it's not only stop what cool thing you're doing, it says also -2 more speed, which is super relevant for if they tried to do a stun ability, not only did they stop the stun, or they tried to seal my character, I stopped that and then gave -speed to whatever it was. I'm now going to block in reversal and make your life miserable. Up next, so those were all the momentum outs when it comes to foundations. We'd much rather use our momentum on attacks, but here's all the making sure that I can block or stay alive. Here's the good defense, the disruption. We got triple Keiko's Aid, just flip after I block something, +2 to their difficulty for the next attack that they play. So the best play that to do with this is to block, flip the Keiko's Aid, attempt to play a reversal. If I check poor, commit the Keiko's Aid. Very relevant when it comes to playing reversals and stopping their turn and making them block my reversal and kicking a card out of the card pool and saying that plus, like this could probably move up to a 4 of, but I just wanted to try out a bunch of different cards, and so it got cut to a 3. Next, we're playing Double Bakery Poster Girl. This is Enhance Destroy, reduce the speed to 0. This is I get to block something for free. It's just as relevant as the Partners in Crime when it comes to blocking stuff and playable while committed. Up next, we got 3 Betrayed by the Family. I think this is one of the most underrated cards in Standard currently. It's got a stack that says, after my opponent's combat phase begins, ready this foundation. And then response commit, after an attack receives a speed or damage penalty due to my opponent's effects, commit one of my opponent's foundations. So I will respond with one of these, commit the thing that's annoying, because I get to choose whatever foundation it is, and then during their turn, I'll ready it back up so that I can just commit it again to block and then reversal. Really, really strong on reversal characters, and it shuts down the problem cards that they have. We're playing 1 new Shipmates. This is just -2 damage, +1 vitality. There's sometimes, like I said before with a Swordfish, that you're just not allowed to block. And so being able to have -2 damage, or looking at the next card, 4 immortal knowledge of -1 damage, or taking and pushing your attack to getting that +1 so that on the half block you take less, or -1 on the half block you take less. It's important, as well as the response destroy. I don't want them to attack me too much. Let's toss that foundation back up in your hand. Keeps us out of deadlock a little bit. Playing a double passing the torch. Being a 7-hander is cool. Being an 8 or a 9-hander, even cooler. that's really what it is. Not once did I ever feel like I was going to get down to no cards in hand to draw the 2, but commit draw 1's very strong. Triple Hunt for Spiders and Dragons. This card's almost an auto-include in any reversal deck, just because of how strong block a low attack with this, play a reversal, build this down, flip one of my opponent's cool things is. That's just a really, really strong effect. Not to mention my opponent builds the 1 out. I get to deal with it. It's better Betrayed by the Family. Neat stuff. Playing Triple Manifestation. Once again, this is more stun, hate. There's nothing really in our deck besides Owl Shield. Owl Shield that commits or checks to make sure that this happens. But besides this is a good 6 block or 6 check. It should probably be relevant in every symbol that can play it. And then my last one is a Sun's Love. I'm a reversal deck. I want to make sure that 1, things lose safe, and 2, I just get to draw a free card. Like I said, being a 7-hander is cool. Being an 8-hander or maybe a 9-hander is even cooler. And then with Passing the Torch, I'm a 10 or an 11-hander. I've got so many resources that I get to play out of these foundations and then make sure I get the block reversal or make these big attack strings. Remember, the first attack I showed you was a 6 diff, and so I got to have resources in order to pay for those. All right, so that was my Skye Mathers deck. Thank you so much for checking out the video. I greatly appreciate it. If you like the deck, let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments down below. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What should I change? What should I add? What should I have taken out? What was the worst card in the deck? Let me know. If you did like the deck, or you want to see how it works in actions, make sure, like I said, go to the DLC and more Campus Championship. There will be a playlist here on the channel. Look for that in the playlist, and see it in action. I think it did a pretty good. It had a pretty good run. If you want to suggest any decks that we do here on the Campus Championships or deck profiles, make sure that you go out to patreon.com/TCGUniversity, sub at the $1 level, and get access to the Discord. We can have a big, long conversation about any cool UniVersus stuff that you want. So, from all of us here at TCGU, thank you very much for watching, and stay learned.